We're going to take a deep dive into how to effectively start creating. So let's talk about creating a path that leads to your ultimate goal. Okay. Now that we understand the power of our creativity, we've created a target so we know where we want to actually be going. And we've also done these techniques to hone in on our mission. And now what we're going to do is create a path on how to get there. So we're going to create an outline for your creation process that includes three fundamental things: the concept, which is your overall vision; the tools, which just means how you're going to do it; and emulation. This is one of my favorite parts. It's the creative inspiration. It's the remixing. It's finding other people's work that you resonate with and finding out how you can remix it and improve it. And I have some really cool key concepts that we'll go over for that portion. So let's dive into the concept and vision. What we're going to do here is outline the passion and vision that you want to create now that we've gotten clear on that. And we're going to dive into the genre, theme, story, and the message that's going to be conveyed. So the difference between this and what we've gotten comfortable with earlier in the course is that we're going to get very specific and very detailed more on the video creation side. We started really broad to get you more aware of you, and now we're really going to hone in to see how to make those into actual projects. So how does it look, right? How does it feel? How does it sound? How does it make others want to do after engaging with it? What we're going to do is define the who, what, where, and why of the creation process. So let's start diving into creating your concept. And here's just an overview. So what is the genre and theme? What is the specific story being told? Right? How does it look, sound, and feel? What does it make people want to do after watching? So I'm going to pop over to my PDF and I'm going to fill it out along with you guys. So you can either download your PDF in the resources tab, or in the Udemy assignment lecture, you can fill it out digitally if you feel more comfortable doing that. All right, so effectively starting to create, the first step of this, the concept. So this starts with defining the genre and theme. You've probably done this in the previous PDFs. So what I'm going to do for this one all right, so effectively starting to create, the first step of this, the concept. So this starts with defining the genre and theme. You've probably done this in the previous PDFs. So what I'm going to do for this one specifically is I'm going to create a concept around a new YouTube series as an example for you guys. So don't get too tied up in my example, just really doing it to get some, inspiration or ideas flowing for you. But what I'm going to do is create mine for a YouTube series where I'm only going to be using an iPhone, and I'm going to be doing specific challenges with myself: 30 days of cold showers, 30 days of eating vegan completely, 30 days of doing 100 push-ups a day, those kind of challenges. So I'm going to outline that in this PDF while you guys are following along, filling out your own PDF. So let's hop into it. What's the genre and theme? Series of informative and entertaining challenge, let's say 30-day challenge videos where I explore life hacks and other ways of living to see how it improves my overall lifestyle. Okay. What story takes place? So this is simply thinking the beginning, the middle, and the end. This is the best way overall to think about any kind of story, is that we all know that there's always the start of something, the middle of what changes, and then the resolution or the conclusion. So to kind of sum this up, so for my example, and you guys can plug this into yours, the beginning video of each video of my series starts with introducing a new life hack. The middle is the transformation that takes place from doing that activity daily. The ending is the conclusion where I share how it's changed me and my final thoughts of if other people should try it out. Try it out and why. So does that make sense? That basically what you're doing is you're creating a framework for each one of your videos. Because if you don't really tell some type of arc or some type of story or some type of here's what's going on, here's the transformation or the change, and the middle or the transformation, it could be a punchline in a comedy video. It could be, you know, the basic information that's conveyed in a more informative video. If you want to shoot, I don't know, advertisements for doctor's offices or dentist offices, the middle can be you're explaining what the purpose of the video is or what the people actually get from watching the video. And then the ending is you're concluding, you're putting a final thoughts, a final kind of synthesis and a stamp of finalizing that project and that video. So the next step, number 3, what message does this tell your viewer? So this project conveys the power and transformation that can occur when people add certain habits into their daily routine. Okay, pretty simple message there. That's really inspiring for me, and I know that that's really inspiring for a lot of other people out there that are interested in feeling more active, feeling more alive, feeling more inspired, all of these things. So, how is this message beneficial? How is this message beneficial and interesting to watch? Okay, it's beneficial. And remember, these are just my examples, so you can go as deep in this as you'd like, but yeah, yours is going to sound a lot different than mine. So for me, for number 4, how is this message beneficial? It's beneficial because it shows people other ways and possibilities to live life in a positive way. It's interesting to watch because the outcome is unknown, to the viewer, and each episode is distinctly, how do you spell distinctly? Different, because each challenge is different. Okay. And the last thing I'll add, and people will be curious to see the before and after transformation. Boom. Up, number 5. What does it make other people want to do after watching this? And the reason we're addressing these questions is because, simply put, if you haven't identified these reasons that you are putting into your video, who else is gonna watch the videos if you haven't put this type of intention into it? If you don't know why people are gonna watch the video and what is beneficial and why it's interesting to watch, it's not very likely that other people are gonna identify that before you have identified that, right? Makes sense? So, if we're moving on here, number 5, what does it make other people want to do after watching? Ideally, other people want to take up a challenge themselves and feel inspired to take action in life. And if you notice, a lot of things that are coming out on this document are really similar to the other previous documents of where my passion is. So my passion that we identified on a broad perspective, got really clear on that. Now we're seeing that same type of desire from me creatively to inspire other people, and it's coming out in this episode. So these are all kind of linking together. We're starting wide and getting much more specific into your project. So if we move to number 6, how does it look, sound, and feel? So this is a lot more of a production related question. So I would say for me personally, each episode will have a modern and clean aesthetic, similar to Matt D'Avella. I don't even know how to spell his name, but he's a YouTuber. He's a pretty big YouTuber. I'm sure a lot of you guys are aware of his mini documentaries on YouTube, similar to Matt D'Avella. And the music will be upbeat and modern as well. And it will feel like a mini documentary, rather than a quick Instagram or YouTube video. The editing and filming will feel thoughtful and purposeful. Perfect. So who's in it, where is it shot, and how is it shot? Okay, definitely a very specific logistical question. I think the reason why we want to identify this now is pretty obvious, so let's hop into it. Who is in it? So I will be the main character and have guests slash experts that I talk with about specific topics. It will be shot at my house and other locations that I travel to for the series. And then how is it shot? I'll be shooting this entire series only only on my iPhone. Boom. And what does the final look like? So we've kind of been talking more about pre-production and more of pre-production and production techniques. What this question number 8 is more about is after editing. It's your final polished piece that you want to have online. What do you want it to look like when it's living online on your channel or on your page? So, really dive into that and really feel, okay, do I want this to be very moody and dramatic? Do I want this to be very exciting and fast paced and a fun video that's a 1 minute video that's really fun and easy to share and easy to watch? For me, with the editing and stylizing and the final, I want it to look, like a high, a, you know, relatively high-end mini doc with a professional feel, but a fun time to watch that balances seriousness. And I'll just say seriousness for now with, you know, let's say like funny slash blooper raw moments. Okay, perfect. So hopefully that gets you guys very clear on the concept that you want to be, you know, creating, going after, and really bringing into